morning, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Stephen Ekman.
And I'm the podfather of gaming, Stephen Bonagor. Tom, again, you didn't put it in the right order. We don't know which order we're supposed to do. You're supposed to tell us.
The Stevens clashed.
Yeah, I was going to say, we did it right. It's just you.
Okay.
I think you just want to be last is what it is.
I don't know. I thought I was supposed to be last. Whatever.
Minus Good 1 point for the game show, Bonagor.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, folks, we're glad to have joining us today one of our Kickstarter backers, Stephen Ekman. But Stephen has done much more than that. He came with us when we went through the grueling task of moving the stuff from one Kickstarter area to another. That was like, 2 months ago maybe now?
That's been a while, yeah.
That was a lot of stuff, and it's still not completely sorted. A lot of it was just thrown into our storage unit.
That was a big warehouse. Like, I walked in there and I was like, what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah. Folks, if you've never seen, we were inside the QML warehouse. I think if anybody was like a Kickstarter backer, you would fall down in just a fit of ecstasy because there are so many, you see so many of the major Kickstarters just all over the place in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't call me to come help you with that one.
Well, you didn't help us move, so we figured why.
I wouldn't have done that. You're right. I would have said no.
Well, you just
That's
wanted
the one
the satisfaction of getting to say no?
Yes.
It's the one time that he uses his age. You know, no, he's like, I'm not old. Oh, you need help moving? Oh, well, I got to go to the doctor.
Chiropractic. He told me no, I can't. I'm sorry.
Anyway, we're glad to have everybody here. We're going to get started right now. So with some contributors, and we'll be back to see who's wrong.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. Today I'm talking about Ecosystem. This is from Genius Games. Genius Games, I've talked about them before, but basically this kind of blends in with my shirt. I'm already looking like a traffic cone or something. But anyways, this game is all about making a well-balanced ecosystem. So it's a card drafting game, and what you're going to do is you're going to take one card, pass the rest. Take one, pass the rest. Kind of like something like Sushi Go or Seven Wonders. But instead of just laying them out in front of you, you're actually going to lay them out strategically in a 5x4 grid. What you're trying to do is you're trying to make the best ecosystem. So you might want to have a long stream, and you're going to get a lot of points for having a long stream. And then you want to have trout and other animals next to that stream because that's going to, that makes sense. But then you want to have eagles and bears next to the trout. And then you want to have, foxes away from the bears. So and you want to have deer kind of spread out all over the map. So all that makes sense with the scoring, but also it all kind of reflects a very diverse and, well-oiled ecosystem. And even at the end of the game, get points based off how diverse you were. If you really just went a whole bunch of fish and a whole bunch of streams or whatever, you get a lot of points from those. However, at the end of the game for the diversity bonus, you might get some negative points, in fact. So, like Genius Games always does, they did a great way of kind of explaining a scientific concepts like diverse ecosystems in a way that is gamified in a really cool way. This is a lot of fun. I love drafting games. This just goes by super fast. The box says 15 to 20 minutes, and that's probably about right. You can even play a 2-player game in like 10 minutes. It just flies by. So yeah, Ecosystem's a lot of fun, and we enjoyed it. All right, if you want to hear more from us, we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews, and you can find us on YouTube or on Facebook. All right, you guys, hope you have a happy and healthy breakfast. Bye.
Howdy folks, welcome to By the Numbers. My name is Hunter Thomason from the Family Showdown. On this episode of By the Numbers, I'm continuing my Through the Years series, where I look at the best game on Board Game Geek by year. Started with 1970, this time 2013. Taking a look at the top 5 from 2013, we see the number 1 game is Concordia, coming in at number 18. Concordia is the quintessential trading in the Mediterranean game, where you are building a deck of cards, which eventually, at the end of the game, scores as sets. Using those cards to move around the Mediterranean, setting up trading posts, collecting resources, doing all sorts of Mediterranean type things. Concordia's original cover was panned for its amazing artwork, but fear not, it was upgraded fairly recently into this amazing artwork. Taking a look at the ratings, over 29,000 of them. We see lots of 8s for an overall rating of 8.1. Taking a look at the weight, it comes at a 3.02, right down the middle. Perfect for a midweight Euro game. So if you're looking for that game that scratches that perfect midweight Euro itch, Concordia might be the game for you. Just close your eyes when you open the box. See you next time.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to You Are Wrong. I have with me today a panel of experts in various topics. I will attempt to curtail my questioning to their specific topics of knowledge. And as I said, they are all experts. So we're going to start right now with a question to Mr. Stephen Bonacore. Mr. Stephen Bonacore, please answer this question for me. Tom
is wrong. Tom is wrong.
How did you know the answer? How did you know the answer before I asked the question? That's amazing.
I'm good.
The question, Mr. Bonacore, is as follows.
Yes, sir.
What percentage of all beer in the U.S. is imported?
Beer consumption in the U.S. What percentage is imported?
What percentage of all beer in the U.S. is imported?
Well, that's got to mean, yeah, okay. It's just, believe we're saying the same thing, but obviously the answer to that.
I defer to you, sir.
Well, I am the expert in all things beer. That is true. And obviously the answer to that question is 18%.
You are wrong.
What if I was right? Now that would be
This game
great.
is already amazing.
If you are right, you get a whole lot of points. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay.
But you are wrong. I did have a contingency plan for that. It could happen, though. With this panel of experts, I doubt it, but it could happen.
Best
so you
game
are
ever.
wrong, and your estimate, if it can so be called, you said 18%.
18% is imported beer.
Is too high. It's lower than that.
See, I am really good at beer questions.
Starting with Tom and then going to Stephen Ekman and back and forth, you guys are going to be dropping that value until you no longer choose to do so because you think you're on the money or you think going any lower would go above the line. If you go past the threshold, that's bad, okay? So starting from Tom, you can drop it as much as you want to until one of the two of you backs off, and then we'll see who gets points. So
Tom being the second foremost expert in beer in the in this world.
I'll say 16.
16%, says Tom. Stephen, what do you think?
No, it's got to be lower. I mean, the best selling beers in the U.S. are like Bud Light and things like that. I'm gonna go a lot lower. I'm gonna go 9%.
9%.
I'm going to defer to his wisdom. I'll do 8.5.
Oh, are we doing decimals here?
No, we're not doing halves. You
Come
want
on,
to do 8?
I don't know. Okay, 8.
8.
I'm gonna pass. I think it's higher than 8%.
But
not
higher
than
than 9.
And you think it's 9? I mean, it's 9. That's what you're saying.
He head faked. He head faked Tom.
Well, Stephen Ekman, you're wrong. It's not 9. However, fellas, you did both blow past it. It was 13%.
Ah.
Okay.
Wait, does that mean I win?
You do win because Tom has a hot potato sitting on his lap. However, here's the scoring. If somebody overshoots and you back off immediately, that's worth 5 points. For every time you continue to overshoot back and forth, I'm dropping that down to a single point eventually. All right? So there was an extra overshoot in this one, which means you're going to get 4 points, okay? You went 9, then there was another overshoot at 8, and then you backed off, okay? So
I sacrificed a point.
So if I had backed off initially, I would have got 5 points.
That is correct, Tom. Yes.
All right. Cool.
And I get 3 points because it was a really good guess.
Negative
You
3?
get negative 2 points for wasting my time. You are wrong.
Anything
Next
to
up,
make me lose.
We have another expert on our panel, of course, Mr. Tom Vassell. Tom, I know you know this topic intimately. How many burgers does McDonald's sell per second? How many burgers does McDonald's sell per second? And this includes not just the ones you purchase, but all of them.
I can't remember the last time I've been to McDonald's. All right, 50.
50 burgers per second is what you're saying?
I am.
50.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're wrong.
Reasonable. I accept your judgment.
The number is higher than that, everybody. Yeah. The number is higher than that. And we're going to start with Mr. Steven Ekman. It's higher than 50. What are you taking?
Oh, my gosh. Per second. Let's go a lot higher, right? Let's go.
Whatever you want.
500.
500 per second.
So I'm off by a factor of 10. Thanks.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. I'm an expert at being wrong.
No, we already got one of those on the panel.
Do you want to back off? Do you want to go farther out than that?
I just calculated that. I think I did the math right.
I hate to say you're wrong yet again, but you probably wrong.
I didn't say anything yet.
We know.
You did math. It's all the information I need.
So Tom said 50.
Which is 300 a minute.
Tom said 50.
And Steven said 500. And 500 is 43 million an hour. He overshot.
He overshot. Well, here's the thing, okay?
Wait, did you just say that's 43 million an hour?
I think I did. A day. I think I did the math right.
If he overshot, Steven Bonacor.
Yep.
If he overshot and you never bid, which is what happened, you never overshot, that's worth 5 points.
Yes.
That's worth 5 points to you, or because you backed off, he'll get points.
Yes.
Now, the points for never overshooting in the first place are a little different, but that's what's going to happen, okay? Thankfully for you, he did indeed overshoot. He overshot by quite a lot. Our expert was actually fairly close. Tom said 50, right?
I don't want to be a McDonald's expert. What are you doing?
You know your stuff, good sir. The answer's 75 per second. So you were actually very close, Tom. So Steven overshot by quite a bit, giving you, Bonacor, the entire 5 points for backing off at the right time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tom. You were very close, but I knew you were a little low, but 500.
I want to hear some more of that math you were doing, though.
Number of seconds. I just did how much at 50 or
number of seconds in an hour. 87. Keep going.
I did 24 times 60 times 60 times 50, and then one I saw how much that was, and then I multiplied by.
You said an hour.
Per day. I meant per day.
Bonacor, you might notice that your area of expertise is not math. It's mostly liquor related. You'll realize.
All right.
All right. Next up, we have a question for Steven Ekman, of course. I know you know board gaming. That's your thing. You're a beast at it. So I have a question for you.
Oh boy.
How many languages is Monopoly currently published in?
Ooh, wow. I am going to say 14.
14 languages.
Say it.
It pains me to say it, but you are so wrong. You're wrong. All right, and we're going to start with Bonacor in this one. Bonacor, the number is higher. 14 was the original estimate. It is higher than that. What would you like? Again, the question being, how many languages is Monopoly currently published in?
I'm going to say much higher than that. That's my answer. Much higher. Oh, 500? I got to give you a number. I'm not going to say 5.
No wonder your math was wrong.
Yeah, the math is great. It's a bigger number.
I'm going to say 52.
52.
I'm going to jump up to 81.
I was trying to reel you in on that one, Tom.
Very well.
What did you say?
81.
He said 81. So, Stephen, you said 52. Tom said 81. Back to you, Bonacore.
82.
82. Tom.
So, I'm only right if it's... Oh, I get the points if we're both over, I see.
Right now, if you back off, yeah.
I'll go to 89.
89.
90.
90.
Well, you made this worthless. Even whoever wins, so I'm out.
That is, well, not if neither one of you has overshot yet, Tom, okay? Yeah. The scoring for never getting there is different.
Oh, well, I'm still going to drop out.
You're dropping out. Well, that's a good call because you're both so wrong. It's disgusting. The correct answer is 47. You overshot your first guess.
All right. Well, fair enough.
But you were close. On the first guess, you said 52 and it was 47.
I just assumed Hasbro would exaggerate their numbers.
I feel like at this point they might be inventing languages. If it's 90, I don't. Countries we have that many. I don't know how many languages we have.
No, there's definitely that many languages.
I believe that you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
All right, so this is only worth 1 point, Tom, and it does go to you because you backed off.
Woo!
What's the score?
The score is 5 points for Bonacore, 4 for Steven, 1 point for Tom.
All right, I'll take it.
So I'm winning. Okay, good. What is the ending game? What's the end game here?
You're each going to just have 2 questions. That's it. So here's your second one, Steven.
Is it beer?
Bonacore?
Well, I'm sorry, Bonacore. Yes, I'm sorry. This is very confusing. Bonacore, is it about beer? Is that what you asked me, Tom?
Yes.
I mean, why would I invite this guest, renowned beer consumer, and not make it about beer? In 2017, what percentage of Europe's beer did Germany produce?
Ooh.
In 2017, what percentage of the AUs of Europe's beer did Germany produce?
Oh, that's actually interesting and hard. I'm going to say the Germany. What was my answer to the last one?
I don't know what your answer was. You haven't said.
I'm gonna again use my pat answer of 18%, which is what I used on the other one. 18% is a good answer for that.
No, you're wrong.
Hey, that's my bit.
I'm just jumping ahead.
But you know what? You're
Spoilers.
Right. You're right, Stephen. He's wrong. It is lower than that, everybody. It is lower than that. And it is going to go to Stephen first. Stephen, it's lower. I'm sorry, it's not lower, it's higher. It's higher than I did say lower, right? No,
it's higher than 18%?
Higher than 18%.
Than 18. Yeah.
Wow, because the English drink a lot of their own beer and the Netherlands produces a lot of beer. Wow, higher.
I can go.
Wow.
Yes.
It's higher. Sorry, it's higher than that.
So I'm going to say it can't be too much higher if it's higher than that. I'll go 22.
Don't give it away. Don't give away any hints to him.
That's what I was
can't
say,
because I don't know the
22.
answer.
But everything you said was right. The English, the Czechs.
So I'm only going to get 5 points if it's between 18 and 22.
Most you can get. Yes, assuming it already has been overshot. Is that what you mean?
There's a lot of... Yeah, I'll say 24.
24.
Ooh. Gosh, do I want to go all the way to 25? Do I want to go to 25? Do I want to go to 25?
That's a quarter of the beer.
I am going to
in Europe
pass and say it is not 25. So I think it's less than 24.
I think you're right.
You are right. It is less than 24 because Stephen Bonacore's guess was, again, he's the expert. It was extremely close. You said 18%. It was 20%.
Wow. So I overshot with my first guess.
So
Well, 22 is not far. I mean, you were 2% off the other direction.
Yeah, there were 2 overshoots there. This is worth 4 points, and Steven backed off with Tom sitting with this on his lap. So you're gonna get 4 points, Steven, bringing you up to 8, and now you're in the lead.
Yeah.
You spilled beer in my
book,
lap.
right? Yeah.
Do you have the list of the other countries? Could I, as Steven said, I bet the number 2 is England, the UK, right?
Are you assuming I have the list of the other countries?
I was assuming you have the list.
Because you're wrong.
How thematic this is.
It's so good.
All right, everybody. Next up, we have a question for Tom. Tom, Samsung, you know Samsung,
I do.
was originally founded as a shop selling vegetables and dried fish. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
What year was that? Samsung was
expert.
originally founded as a shop selling vegetables and dried fish. What year was that? And just to be sure, I'm clear here, your expertise is not years, it's food.
Yeah. How's that diet coming, by the way?
Wait. Samsung.
Samsung, who makes smartphones.
Like that
Yes,
TV
yes.
over there?
They're like, I think they're the second or third largest company in Korea. I think LG is bigger.
Well, LG, I don't know about their vegetables. Okay, I'm talking about Samsung.
I'm going to say
What year?
they've been around a while. 1885.
1885. Okay.
Feed
And
me,
then-
Seymour. Tell me.
You are wrong.
What?
I hate to break the news to you, but you are wrong. It is more modern than that.
Okay.
So 1885 is the guess right now. We start with Bonacor here. It is closer to us than 1885. What would you like?
They began selling fruits and vegetables, obviously, in 1938.
Okay.
He overshot already. I think it's older than 1938.
You think it's older than 1938, Stephen? Okay. Well, this is unprecedented, ladies and gentlemen, because 1938 is exactly correct.
What the? Come on.
Thank you. The audience is going to hate
Nobody
me.
knows they're fried fish. I'm just saying. That was dried,
Here's one benefit that you have, Mr. Bonacor. I wouldn't even consider the fact that you cheat because I know you don't know how to look stuff up on the internet. So that's a good guess.
I believe
literally
that was
said-
not a guess, Tom. You're wrong.
I wanted to go.
Stock in Samsung. Is that how you know this? What's going on?
I don't own Samsung stock. I should probably.
No, not you.
Bonacor never mind. I wanted to go before the war, World War II, and like Great Depression. But after that, so 38.
There was logic in there.
That was the entirety of the logic.
Wow. Well, you shot up to 10 points, taking the lead again. You've got 10. Steven Ekman has 8. And Tom, let me get this right. 1 point. Yeah, that's right.
So
1.
wait, the only way that Steven can win is by nailing his expert question.
That's right. I got this.
That is correct. Yes.
Can I insult
42?
Z, can I insult you a few times so you subtract a few points from me? How's that?
You can try whatever you want.
Annoy you or something?
Well,
I like how he asks if he can insult you and can annoy you.
All right, Steven Ekman, your question. When surveyed in May 2020, 44% of respondents said they found playing board games, quote, very enjoyable. My question to you is, what percentage said board games are, quote, not fun?
Wait, so who are they surveying? Just generic random people, huh?
They are just surveying across, adults, I believe.
Can you repeat?
Yeah, so the question is, this is a survey from May 2020 about board games and whether they're fun or not, and various board game questions. 44% said that playing board games was enjoyable. And the question is, what percentage said that board games are, quote, not fun?
Ooh, well, I'm going to assume that a large percentage of people just gave a meh answer. Not that they would say that they're not fun. So I'm going to say the not fun crowd is smaller. And I'm going to say it is 12%.
12%.
To actually say not fun.
Well, you're wrong.
Ah.
The number is lower than that.
Oh.
And we start with Tom here. Tom.
6%.
Stephen Bonacore.
I think he already overshot. I'm out. And for that reason, I'm out.
You are out. Okay. Well, I got some good news for you, Bonacore. He did overshoot, but I got some bad news for you too. Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Because the answer, Stephen Eggman said 12%. The answer is 11%. It's scary close. So all the points you are getting from defeating Tom in this final question, being so close on that final guess is bringing Mr. Stephen Eggman up to match you in victory points. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie. We have a tie, ladies and gentlemen. You have 15 points, Stephen. And Bonacore and Stephen Eggman also has 15 points. But the thing to take away here is Tom still has 1. 1 point.
This game is rigged. I have a feeling. I don't know. I'm just feeling rigged.
I'll say this one time. You're not wrong. It is rigged. Everybody, thanks for playing. You are wrong. We got some contributors to check out. Let's go ahead and do that now.
Thank you, Stephen, for coming on.
Thanks, Stephen. The best.
Hey, folks, and welcome to FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game, seeking crowdfunding right now. Maybe I've got a fear of missing out on it. Maybe you do too. We take a look together. Today, we're going to take a look at Book of Villainy. In Book of Villainy, each player takes on the role of a B-list villain, hoping to write the best book of their nefarious deeds. This is a rondel, set collection, and tableau building game for 2 to 4 players. On a player's turn, they first must move to a new location, 1 or 2 spaces away, and then either take a nefarious or respectable action. Nefarious actions offer more rewards, but come with the risk of the hero coming to take some of your henchmen away. Actions include recruiting new henchmen, writing a chapter in your book, gaining new gadgets, or even plagiarizing a chapter for your book from an opponent. Writing your book is what this game is all about, and it's better to write from life experience, so in order to write a chapter from the available options, you have to have the henchmen in your service to send out and commit the deed. Gadgets allow you to manipulate the actions or even mess with your fellow villains. The game ends when a villain's completed the 6th chapter of their book, at which point each player scores points on their book based on the chapters in the right order, points assigned to chapters, and the overall themes of those chapters using set collection. Alright, so Book of Villainy. I love this. Fortessa Elise, I hope I'm saying your last name correctly, has really hit one out of the park here. This game is super light but super fun, and it doesn't take itself seriously, from the theme to even how it's played. This feels a little mass market, but with enough that I could play this with my gamery friends too. I just really enjoyed. The artwork is tongue-in-cheek, the chapters are tongue-in-cheek, everything about this is fantastic. I love the rondel, it's very intuitive, I love the gadgets, they're fun. The take that is in this game, but it's just not over the top. It's really, you're only taking that when it suits you, when it's convenient. And I just really love this. The only thing that I'm concerned is this may not be readily available in retail later. So if you want it, I'd go back it. All right, I will see you folks next episode.
Hey everyone, Chris Yee here. I want to give you a little bit of the Chutes and Marbles highlights from this last week of races. If you do watch these, this would be some of the most exciting moments. But if you have not watched these, maybe this will invite you to come check them out. Let's see the footage. Here we've got a couple of strong racers coming together, but Travel Buddy finds a smooth lane through the Plinko finishing line. Check that out. He almost gets taken out here at the end, does skate by, but look at this athleticism. finding a pocket, moving right through it, hustling. All right, over here, Imperial Rex is in the lead, but who's stuck there? Grandpa Frank is immobilized until now. He is released. He finds an outside lane. These outside lanes are huge, and he's going to take it. No, he's completely overtaken by Imperial Rex. Whoop! Excuse me, I'm on my way to victory. Now we've got here, this is part of the elimination races. You'll see that a lot of these green marbles are zombies, actually, as in the finals, the marbles were being eliminated. Look at this strong performance coming around the outside. But in this race, you just don't want to be last. Too bad for, whoa, look at that. Invincible is last. He's going to be turned into a zombie until one takes out his competition. Invincible sneaks on by. And this here is just my personal highlight of all of the races. Here we've got Moonbeam, we've got Chocolate Swirl fighting it out, we've got some other people coming in, but if you watch carefully around the outside, riding Moonbeam down comes Blood Moon. Look at that athleticism, look at that performance, finding this, not only that, but taking advantage of Moonbeam's showboating to slide on through. That, folks, is Chutes and Marbles. Those are some of the highlights from these last races. If you like that, go check out Chutes and Marbles live here on the Dice Tower every Tuesday.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take a look here, folks, at the news. So we got some good news for you. We'll start with, we noticed some upcoming events happening. Gen Con, Origins, and the Spiel are all happening later this year. And things are looking better for each of them all the time. As a side note, the Dice Tower will be at Gen Con. We won't be at Origins, and likely we won't be at Spiel. You're bankrolling that there, sir?
I'm not bankrolling anything. You should be there with me.
Maybe you should be booing then for us poor people. Anyhow, previews for all of these are online. This is from Board Game Geek. Eric Mark puts these together. It's been a long time since I've seen a preview for upcoming stuff.
Oh my gosh, I know.
So that's good to see. We'll probably go through the Gen Con preview as we get closer to Gen Con, which feels like it would be now, but it's not. It's in September.
Yep.
So we'll see. I'm still thinking that Origins may get squeezed out here, being halfway between these big cons. Like, I don't think that we'll see a lot of releases that are released at Origins specifically, but you never know.
But at the same time, you know, if you pick a convention, you'll get all the same releases. I don't think you're going to see one that is only for Origins. Sure. Though there might be. I mean, there could be like some smart publisher, and I'm going to be very specific. You know, somebody could specifically say, we're going to release this cool title at Gen Con and then this cool title, and they can, you know, get a lot of buzz out of both. That would be kind of a smart thing to do. But they're literally 2 weeks apart. That's a rough. They're going to have to hold something back.
It's really tough for a board game company if they wanted to go to all three of these. I'm curious how many board game companies are going to all three. I would imagine it's not many.
How many media people will? How many here on the show will?
Well, the media people here aren't. Oh, you're talking about yourself. You're using media real loosely. All right. Board Game Geek has an app for the iOS. And I guess it's coming out to Android eventually. They're still testing on iOS. I have not tested this yet. I keep meaning to go use it, but I think this is great because while the new site for Board Game Geek works better on the mobile phone than it did in the past, for sure, an app would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have no idea. Is it like basically you get the database on your phone? Is kind of what it is. I mean.
Yeah, well, this is an official one. There's already unofficial ones where you can keep track of your plays and rate games and things. So I'm not sure everything that this can do. It says that you can rate and follow your subscriptions. That's a big one for me. If I could follow my subscriptions on my phone, I would really like that.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about this because it's, you know, Aldi and team will put the full probably force of their data.
Well, I don't. Yes, but this is actually being designed by not them. It's somebody else.
Right, but Aldi
with their support, of course. Though.
Sure.
Right, so they could get who's ever doing it can get all the data. Versus it's a little harder if you're just an independent person dragging across the data to format it right. So I'm excited about this. I agree. This is cool.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So Android headlines, which is about Android. And I thought it's funny because when I saw the AH in the corner there, I thought that meant Avalon Hill. But anyway, they talked about their top 10 best board games for Android, which includes Risk, Ludo Club, Chess, Reversi, Monopoly, Checkers, and Castles of Burgundy.
I know. This is the craziest
I love
thing.
I thought this was like a joke when you put this in here almost. It's like, this is the anti-10 best games. It's like the anti-9. It's the worst 9 games plus a really good one, Castles of Burgundy. It's ridiculous. This is what they put together?
I get why chess is on. Who's playing checkers on an app? It just feels like, I don't know. I know I'm going to get a comment on that.
It's just kind of strange to see Castles of Burgundy make it on that list, and it makes you wonder why did that one make it on?
Well, the quote that they have was,
list?
"The Castle of Burgundy is the only paid game on this list. You're playing the game with dice, but you also need to make some choices along the way."
I do think that dice in a board game are definitely a welcoming thing. Like if I put 2 whatever Euro games in front of you, and one has a bunch of dice, whether you roll them or not, that's the thing, and the other one doesn't, most people that are not gamers will gravitate towards one without dice. They recognize that.
I think that's 100% correct, Z. The dice is something that people understand from years of, playing games with dice.
Yeah,
so, and that's kind of a reason why roll and writes, I think, even, penetrated mass to a certain extent. And they did pretty well because, I can roll these things and make choices based on that versus like draw a card, move a thing here. I got to grab these red things to make blue things. That's a whole nother level of stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting list.
A terrible list.
So this year, the past year of news, we keep talking about new things that Asmodee is partnering with, whether it's shoes or socks or whatever it might be. Now it's enamel pins. So Fansets LLC is working with Asmodee to bring you the fan favorite characters from the Keyforge universe as pins. Cool. These are cool looking pins.
I'm not a pin guy. These are beautiful pins. If I was into, and I don't play Keyforge, and I've never even tried it. I really just I should play it because I hear it's just great. Well, okay. But if I was a pin person, those are awesome pins, but I'm not. So.
It seems a little narrow. I know. I guess
Keyforge
is doing well, but if you're partnering with a pin manufacturer to make pins, why not as Asmodee, open that up a little bit? How about just doing a whole brand? Like, here's Cthulhu Tentacles, because we do 18 games about that. And here is, a rocket that represents a rocket in Twilight Imperium. This is not just Keyforge, but then also characters in Keyforge. Wow. Talk about, narrowing that target audience. I don't know how many folks that play Keyforge, which is a very sort of CCG-minded kind of card game, also are huge on enamel pins.
No, we'll see. All right, Jackbox, which is my family's go-to choice if we're going to sit down and play, party games together. Jackbox is a lot of fun, and they put out new sets all the time. But they're actually making a board game. But it's a collectible card game with decks of cards generated by playing Champed Up, which is in Jackbox Party Pack 7. I'm a little confused about how this works.
So from what I can tell, you play the game Champed Up in the video game, okay, in Jackbox Party Pack 7. Once you're done playing, this is a game in which you it's kind of a little card game, a very simple head-to-head fighty card game.
Right.
The cards are being illustrated by you, like you draw on your phone or whatever, right? Like you do for some other party games, for Jackbox. Once you're done playing, they give you the option to follow a link or whatever and get this printed and sent to you.
That's fairly brilliant. Now that
So
I'm
it's-
understanding it.
It'll have you and your group's illustrations on the physical copy you get. That's the idea.
So I was trying to remember if I played this one. I own all the Jackbox stuff. I think they're really amazing stuff to play, you know, on Zoom with your friends. And I do now remember playing this, and we've always, somebody always comes up with these absurd illustrations that you then like remember forever. Like people start taking screenshots and you start sending them to each other. I mean, now you can be able to get physical prints of these things and it'll play like a game. That's kind of genius. And I kind of will now do that, and I will spend some money with my friends doing this. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this now. Like, does it say how much they cost?
Yeah, it's not going to be cheap. We'll say that. I guarantee it, because print on demand stuff is never cheap. It doesn't say it here, but I'm gonna look into this.
The only other problem with this also would be, while it would be funny for the group who played it, it has no meaning to anybody else. Like if you printed some out that you play with your group and I came to your house and you said, let's play this, I would say, oh, and you'd be like, this is hilarious. You weren't there, but, and it would fly over my head.
I agree with that.
But this is totally celebrating the group you played that with.
Sure.
I think this is a great idea. It doesn't need to cross those barriers. It'll be a conversation piece for you and your group of friends for a long time. It's clever.
Yeah, very clever. Like a legacy thing, if you think about it, right? You've created it for that play session for that group.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff Tidball, who I think is associated with Atlas Games.
He used to be.
Been on. He's not with them anymore.
I don't believe. Yeah.
So he actually was on the Dice Tower show in the past, the Dice Tower podcast. We've talked about local game stores before. Well, he just bought the company Prolific Games. So Prolific Games, which has a very popular selling game, the Sasquatch game. What's that called again? Flapjacks and Sasquatches.
Yep.
Which we don't necessarily consider to be a great game, but a lot of people like it. So there you have it. So we'll see what happens here. The company Left Justified LLC has bought Prolific Games. It seems like Prolific Games should produce a lot of games, right?
Yes. They do not. And I have not played them. But Jeff's a smart guy. He knows a
lot about the industry. So we'll see what he can do with these games. Although, again, I'm not interested in that particular game at all. But maybe the new stuff will be better.
Right. Yeah, why buy this if not to produce more things, right? That's
sure.
The idea.
All right, WizKids has announced Zombie Princess and the Enchanted Maze. So this is from Andrew Beardsley. It has a very striking cover. Like, that's a cover that's going to jump off the shelf at you.
Yeah.
Kind of insane.
Neat.
You're starting in one corner, trying to get to the other corner. With avoiding the zombie princess. So you're making a maze. Is it a two-player game? I love this tagline. She was looking for love. Now she's looking for lunch. That's a great tagline.
I wonder if Zev came up with that. That is pretty cute. There's really not a lot of information here on this one, but like you said, the art's great. The concept sounds cute. I would definitely like to check this one out.
All right, I'm really excited about this next piece of news. Kids Chronicles: Quest for the Moonstones. So this is from Lucky Ducks, and essentially this is Chronicles of Crime for kids.
Oh.
I'm really pumped about that because Chronicles of Crime is great, but it's definitely mature themes because there's murder and all kinds of, the murder happened because of an affair and yada, yada, yada. But if they make that same kind of app scanning technology, which at this point, between Chronicles of Crime and Destiny's, Lucky Duck is on point with this stuff. It works well. I think this would be really fun. It's a 30 to 45-minute game. It says there's one tutorial and 5 unique stories. And, of course, they'll have more. And if it's like their other games, they'll allow people to make their custom ones. And that's a great cover, although it does look like a VHS cassette cover from the 90s.
I guess.
Doesn't that look like one of those? Like there's a Disney movie came out, and then this is the video of the thing that's called the same thing, but not quite.
It does have that look of like, oh, when is this coming out on Netflix? It's a new series, Quest for the Moonstones. Yeah, I guess.
I really enjoy that art. It's like Disney meets Pokemon anime, kind of style. Very colorful, beautiful. I think this is a great idea, and agree about Lucky Duck is a smart company doing the right things. This should be interesting for kids.
Yeah.
All right. Every year, people say, "Tell us more about kids' games," and then everyone ignores when the Kinderspiel is handed out. I don't know why. This is big. It's big news. But Dragomino, which gives Katala, he's won all 3 now, right?
No, I don't believe so. I don't think he's ever won a Kennerspiel.
I don't think so. I agree with that.
No, there was the one who was up for that possibility this year was Antoine Boza, had won previously. The grown-up 2, let's call him. So 7 Wonders won for something, and then Hanabi won. And he was nominated for a Kinderspiel entry. If he had won that, I think he would have been the first person in history to have taken one of each. He did not. And I'm sure he and Katala, I know, are friends in real life, so I'm sure he'll give him some garbage for it.
Well, anyway, congratulations. Yeah. This is the first time I can remember where the family of games won, though. We have King Domino and Dragomino having won.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, there might be something else there, but that's true. This has turned out to be quite the popular series.
Yeah.
And of course, then it just goes to show you and makes sense that's why they're coming out with yet another one later on, the King Domino Origins, with sort of a prehistory theme.
All right, and the biggest build-up to something that was spoiled a week before they announced it, Fantasy Flight kept pretending that no one knew. They're like, a new thing's coming. We're like, yeah, someone already mentioned it on the internet a week ago. But we waited till the official announcement to talk about it here in the news. Unfathomable, a new game, which Fantasy Flight is very careful not to even mention the words Battlestar Galactica, but this is Battlestar Galactica. Come back. I'm sure the rules have changed, at least somewhat. They look very similar. And it's set in the Arkham Horror universe, where you are crossing I think you're coming from Europe to Boston, and some people are going crazy, and you have to figure out who it is. And I am so bored by this because I understand that they can't use the Battlestar Galactica theme anymore, but to stick it in Arkham universe, I see so much Cthulhu. I'm tired of it.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, does it bother you that it's Cthulhu? Because I don't find that to be. I like Cthulhu, so there is that. Okay, I'll say that up front. But also, this isn't going to be like Cthulhu up like front and center. It's basically 1913. You're on a ship. People are going crazy, and there are monsters jumping on. It doesn't matter that it's Cthulhu almost. You see what I'm saying? There's monsters attacking you, and people are going crazy.
I guess I'm just not that interested in this theme. Maybe I'll play it and I'll be wrong.
So I agree with you, Z. I'm not a Cthulhu fan. I mean, I'm not against it. But I am a huge fan of the original Battlestar Galactica system, and of course Battlestar Galactica itself. So yeah, to me this is awesome and exciting that we're going to be able to get Battlestar Galactica, air quotes, back in print, even if they've modified it and changed it. So I think this is huge news for those people who like the game.
If it makes the game faster, if they streamline some of the rough edges of Battlestar. No, I know that you go, but I still think Fantasy Flight is on the edge of extinction, and this needs, I think that they need something big. This might be it. We'll see.
I like this. At first blush, I like this more than Battlestar Galactica, because I thought that theme was fine and great for the people that really, really like the show, and everybody else was like, it's okay. It's Battlestar Galactica. I'll put up with it. Like it didn't bother me. It didn't attract me and get me over those little moments where I was like, We're still playing. It's been 3 hours. Let's go. I didn't have Battlestar Galactica to fall back on. Does that make sense? So if they can make this shorter and this theme, which I do like better, I'm in. I'm in like Flynn. But I really doubt that Fantasy Flight will make this shorter. Because they keep letting me down with that time and time and time again. Every time they rework something and they say, oh, the new Arkham Horror 3rd Edition, now it's tighter, it's shorter, you're a liar. It's not shorter. It's never shorter. So I doubt it.
Does it say 2 to 4 hours on it? I'm trying to see the side of the box there.
It does say that.
It does.
It says it in our notes, too.
Oh, that's not shorter. So that's the standard game.
That's a bummer.
So
2 to 4 hours is not a standard game length.
No, that's what you would put on a Battlestar Galactica box. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, it's very not standard.
Battlestar Galactica didn't say 2 to 4 hours on it.
It might have. It might have said 3.
Yeah, it might have said something like that. So now you could play BSG in 2, but it's unlikely. You certainly can play it in 4. And it would normally go like 3 hours. I don't mind those kind of games at all when I'm ready to do it. Right? I'm there for this duration. I'm allocating 3 hours to
2 to 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours. It said.
That's what it used to say.
So it's longer. Hey, they made it longer.
All right.
Anyway, I will say this: I do like the cover a lot. I think that's a really cool picture.
Yep.
The whole cover looks cool.
Yep. Great composition. Awesome.
All right. In, I think, somewhat important news here, Capstone Games has announced they have the rights to Orleans. So they're going to be bringing Orleans back, and we're showing you the current covers for Orleans. And they're bringing back both of the expansion for Orleans, Invasion, which turned it into a cooperative game, which usually doesn't work for games, but did in this case, and Trade and Intrigue, which offers 2 modules. One of them is trash. The other one's really good. The big news here, I think Tasty Minstrel Games is dead. This was their biggest game they had left.
I have no inside knowledge, but I 100% agree with what you're saying. I know DLP is also consolidating who they want to work with, and they want their games in print, and Capstone is very aggressive, in a good way, about finding new, interesting titles to print. So I kind of agree that Tasty Minstrel doesn't look like they're going to be doing much. Though they have a Kickstarter going on now, I think, don't they?
I don't believe they're running a Kickstarter. I think they have one that they haven't fulfilled.
I'm going to take a quick look, but I thought that I saw that they were running one now. Belfort? Oh, that's the one that they just ran it, though, I think. Belfort Deluxe Edition. Maybe it just ended in...
The last Kickstarter they ran was one called Emperor's Choice Deluxeified. And that was last updated August 19th. That was supposed to have delivered in October 2020. I don't know if it has or not. I can look at the comments and see in a second. Okay, no. The comments are slightly angry. I'm going to stop reading them. It will ruin my day. No, they're pretty vicious comments in there. So I think they have multiple outstanding Kickstarters. I'm not saying they're gone, but the writing doesn't look good. The communication hasn't been strong. This happens a lot with board game companies. There's a lot of board game companies that are gone. But I think Capstone has positioned themselves to be one of the biggest Euro game companies of America for sure, if they're not already there.
They're doing quite well. And yes, they are picking up good licenses, lots of licenses. I agree with you, Tom. Don't ever repeat that.
Alrighty, well, there you go, folks. That's the news. Let's keep going.
Hi, it's Tarrant.
And Stella from Meeple University and the Dice Tower. Last time we talked about board game regrets with Lisboa, and this time there's another one.
Yes, I've got a very specific regret about playing Hako Owner. It's a one versus many hidden movement game set in a horror movie theme, and it has a lot of fun horror movie tropes and things in it, which is really quite fun. And so I was playing as the one, I was the Hako Owner, and there was this moment in the game where I had to make a choice between positioning myself in two places, and then I was going to play a card which was the look under here, you know, in the horror movies where someone is compelled to look where they really shouldn't look and then they get killed. So that was essentially what was happening here. So I had to pick where to go, and then I was going to force the other player to try to find me. And I had two options. I had the simple option where the game would continue regardless of whether the other player picked rightly or wrongly, or I had the all or nothing option where I would essentially lose the game if they picked correctly. And it was been this meta thing because they would have been able to think, well, surely he would have picked the safe option because if he picked this option and was wrong, he would lose. But I should have just gone all out and I should have picked that option.
And you lost. I was there as well at the end.
I feel like a wimp for not picking the all or nothing option. And I regret that to this day.
Oh no! So what is your board game regrets? Let us know in the comment sections. And we are Meeple University on YouTube and on the Dice Tower. See you next time.
All right, folks.
All right.
Thanks so much for joining us for another Board Game Breakfast. Thank you, Z, for your game. Thank you, Stephen Ekman, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, and all our contributors. We have lots more videos going up over the next few days, and we will eventually see Mr. Bonacore go back in his house.
Someday.
And
I'll be back.
And there'll be jail bars in front of like, this is my new place. Alrighty. Well, anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
And I'm Stephen Bonacore.
Have fun playing games.
Not drinking beer.